refers to a location that is not in one's home nation. In the banking and financial sectors, the word is widely used to indicate places where rules differ from those in the home country. Offshore locations are typically island nations where companies, investment, and deposits are established. Companies and individuals, who usually those with a high net worth, may relocate abroad in search of better terms such as tax avoidance or asset protection. Although offshore institutions can be utilized for unlawful reasons, they are not illegal. Foreign-based entities, accounts, and other financial services can be all referred to as offshore entities. The activity must be based in a country other than the home nation of the company or investor in order to be considered offshore. As a result, even if a person or corporation has its headquarters in one country, the actual business is conducted in another. Critics, on the other hand, argue that offshore is a way to avoid paying taxes or conceal illegal gains from authorities, despite the fact that most countries require overseas holding to be reported. Offshore jurisdictions have become new haven for fraud, money laundering, and tax evasions. As a result, officials are under increasing pressure to be more open and forthcoming with tax authorities worldwide. Offshoring is entirely legal because it ensures a high level of privacy for businesses. The Swiss, for example, are well known for their strict privacy rules. At one point, Swiss banks did not even provide account names. However, Switzerland decided to provide foreign countries with information about their account users, officially ending tax dodging.
Here are the more common types of offshore bank accounts available. First, checking accounts. Checking accounts are one of the most common offering for offshore bank, available to individual as well as commercial account. This provide the opportunity to have funds on hand for general expenses. You may use electronic or paper check to issue payments, or you may use a debit card associated with the account. Some offshore banks provide interest on balance found in their checking account. Typically, there is a minimum balance that you must maintain throughout the current period to receive the interest. The bank may also offer free checking service as long as the balance remains above a certain amount. Next, basic saving account. An international basic saving account works much like what you are used to at home. It is possible to open this type of account with whatever minimum balance is required. Then add to that balance when possible. Addition can be made using manual transfer from your international or domestic bank account in most cases. As with a domestic saving account, your international counterpart will provide interest on the balance once it reaches a certain level and remain there. It's not unusual for international bank to assess a penalty or fee if you do withdraw funds from the account at same point. Consider the basic account as an excellent way to earn interest on the money you don't plan to use anytime soon. Next, international investment account. There are investment opportunities worldwide that may or may not be available to you through a domestic investment account. Since some of them may be in line with the level of volatility you are willing to take on and offer the potential for reasonable returns, it makes sense to set up an international investment account with an offshore bank. Many of these banks either have investment arms or money management specialized to help you evaluate firms that can provide you with this type of account. At all times, the investment held within this account portfolio remains separate from any domestic ones. That means they may or may not be subject to the same rate of taxation or transaction fees as the ones you have at home.
Offshore bank is one that is not situated in the depositor's native country. The majority of offshore account holders are non-residents of the bank's jurisdiction. Better privacy, easy of access, little or no taxation, and protection from political, municipal, and financial instability are just a few of the advantages. Hence, the advantages that I will highlight in this video are tax advantages and secrecy. One of the most common objectives for investors to shift their bank accounts abroad is to profit from tax advantages. Tax rates in certain countries are particularly advantageous to investors. Offshore governments recognize this as a creative way to attract capital, resulting in a deal scenario for both the country and outside investors. Investor assets are frequently protected from local taxation if they do not engage in local trade or make their money in the nation. This might include cuts to income taxes, business taxes, capital gains taxes, and property taxes, among other things. While tax advantages are not the only benefit of banking overseas, they are a major one. Next, the additional benefit of secrecy policy is available in many offshore countries. These countries have passed legislation requiring tight corporate and financial secrecy. If this secrecy is violated, the guilty party faces substantial repercussions. The disclosure of client identity is an example of a violation of banking secrecy. In certain jurisdictions, disclosing shareholders is considered a breach of company secrecy. This secrecy, however, does not imply that offshore investors are criminals covering stuff. It is also worth noting that in clear cases of drug trafficking, money laundering, or other illicit activity, offshore laws will allow identity exposure. However, from the perspective of high-profile investor, keeping information such as the investor identity hidden while amassing shares in a public firm might provide a considerable financial benefit. High-profile investors do not want the public to know what equities they are holding. Millionaire investors do not want a swarm of a little fish buying the same stock they have selected for large-scale stock acquisitions. The little fry raises the cost. Offshore countries are in most situations immune to the laws they may apply where the investor resides, since nations are not required to adopt the laws of a foreign country. For example, any asset situated within the United States can be brought before a U.S. court. As a result, it is a good idea to double-check that the assets an investor is trying to protect are not physically located in the United States.
Okay, the disadvantages of creating an offshore bank account is that a large minimum deposit may be required. This sum varies greatly from bank to bank, and it also depends on whether customer want to open a private or retail account. Some banks additionally demand that customer keep a certain minimum balance in customer account at all the time. Another disadvantage of putting your money in an offshore account is that it might not be safe in the case of financial crisis. As a result, it is critical to conduct thorough study into the protection offered by your offshore bank. Okay, next, customers of offshore bank are frequently offered a lender payment scheme, although this is not necessarily the case for offshore bank account holder. Deposit at offshore bank may only be secured up to a particular amount, and fund in excess of that amount may be at a greater risk of loss than money in an offshore bank. Furthermore, customers who use a bank account in the United States enjoy the benefit of having their account protected by the Federal Deposit Insurance
Corporation (FDIC). That was not the case when customers invest abroad. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation (FDIC) issues bank account balance up to a specific amount. If a bank fails, the FDIC takes over the payout customer money. In the most circumstances, customer with offshore bank account will not able to receive their repayment if bank shuts. Besides, one downside of offshore banking is the associated fees. In many circumstances, there will be fees that associated with opening offshore bank account because customer may have to change their currency into a foreign currency. Transferring money to an offshore bank account may cost customer money. It may have cost more to get into the offshore bank account where customer can earn interest by the time customer receive their cash back. Finally, the world offshore banking encompasses a wide range of services, location, and final institution. Starting with the saving account in Tokyo differs significantly from opening one in another nation. It may take personal examination and study to determine whether offshore banking is the best for customer. As an example, is it better to have a long-term security or short-term gains? Another example is, do you want to expand your property or safeguard asset for future generation by banking offshore? So, in order to identify the appropriate jurisdiction for customer need, customer must analyze the numerous benefits of offshore banking in various locations.
Common problems with offshore banking. For every institution, there is a common issue. Offshore banks are not different. Not all of them are created equal. You need to pay attention to the following warning signs while looking for a bank to help you expand your financial portfolio outside of the country. The first common problem is too many bankers, too little service. In some cases, banks rely substantially on value in order to generate profits. They rather manage a large number of customers than provide high-quality service to a small number of loyal customers. Calling such a bank will almost never result in speaking with the same relationship manager. A lot of time is wasted on the phone because of these relationship managers don't know who you are. Relationship managers will always be unfamiliar with each customer and recommend one-size-fits-all financial solution, making it more difficult for you to receive items customized needs. It's better to keep all these banks clear who treat clients this way since they don't appreciate your business. Instead, look for banks that have a dedicated relationship managers who serve a small number of customers at the same time. Your service will thus be more responsive and personalized. Second, forex complication. In the world of offshore banking, forex rates are a major problem. Financial losses can result from currency risk. If you just have one currency in your offshore bank account, you may find yourself in a situation where exchange risks are undesirable. Multi-currency accounts which can handle multiple currencies at once are becoming more popular these days. Offshore accounts can contain a variety of currency, including euros, US dollars, and Japanese yen. Store the currency in a safe place until the better moment comes around to convert. There are strategies to protect your money even if exchange rates are unstable. Look for an offshore bank that allows you to save multiple currency. Because of this, you don't have to worry about currency exchange rates affecting your investment and banking around the world. Third, poor accessibility. An offshore bank account might be a complicated process to access. Doing things the old-fashioned way is possible to bank does not have secure platform. To finalize this transaction, you may be required to fill out lots of new paperwork, retain the lawyer, or fly to an offshore bank on your own. You should know what you are putting yourself into before putting your money to a conservative bank. 4. Passive approach to bank. Some offshore banks can sometimes be inactive against foreign clients. If you put your money in their accounts and don't cause too much of a problem, they will generally be happy. A benefit of having offshore banks is the ability to see things from another country point of view. If it's possible to gain microeconomic perspective on the region from an offshore bank as well as identify trends and assets that can be used to increase your wealth. You will get a latest information from an active bank and worldwide bank as well. Lastly, the common problem is political and economic instability. This is the most common problem in financial institution industry around the world. When deciding where to invest your money, political and economic stability are very important. A bank operations can be badly impacted by political instability or war. The financial sector of given country may be affected by a change in government policy which may result in asset, interest rate changes, or the cancellation of business license for some banks. Offshore banking depends on strong and safe economy from your country, also around the world.
Labuan was declared as an international offshore financial center in October 1990 to complement the activities of the domestic financial market in Kuala Lumpur, strengthen the contribution of financial services to gross national products of Malaysia, as well as develop the island and areas within its vicinity. This is the function in Labuan IOFC. There are 5 functions. Firstly, to maintain the good reputation of Labuan IBFC as an international business and financial center. Apart from that, to make recommendation for the creation and improvement of facilities to enhance the attraction of Labuan IBFC as a center for financial services. Moreover, to collaborate with financial institution and industry association in Labuan IBFC to promote and provide financial services to foster high standard for Labuan IBFC financial services. On the other hand, to advise and make recommendation to the government on matter relating to financial services in Labuan IBFC, as well as to carry out all such activities and to do all such things as necessary or advantageous and proper for the administration of the authority or for such other purposes as may be directed by the Minister. In my opinion, I believe the existence of the IOFC is to promote and develop Labuan as an international center for business and financial services. In addition, it is to develop national objectives, policies and priorities for the orderly development and administration of international business and financial services in Labuan. Apart from that, it also to act as the central regulatory, supervisory and enforcement authority of the international business and financial services industry in Labuan. Indeed, the development of the IOFC is the long-term agenda of the Malaysian government. Hence, the IOFC operates in a rapidly changing and increasingly competitive marketplace. Its business environment and business rules of the game have continuously evolved to become more business-friendly. With the rapid advancements in information technologies, business strategies are now changing and geographical location is no longer a major deciding factor.
Globalization and the expansion of the economics all over the world have contributed to the emergence of international banking facilities. The world is now a marketplace and every firm must take advantage of it. Geographical boundaries are no longer a high priority. Banking facilities have grown tremendously as a result of increased access to technology. Banks must be forced to anticipate these challenges and retool to win. They must make difficult decisions about which customer to serve, how to win, and where not to play. They must structure their organization around the client and change and reduce value structurally. They must strive to do things differently. One method to addressing this issue is offshore bank. The bottom line is that going offshore is typically reserved for corporations or individuals with a high net worth. This means that the majority of us will not benefit from it. Those that travel offshore, do business, open bank accounts and invest anywhere in the world. While going overseas is not unlawful, it does subject the company to more scrutiny. This is due to the fact that it is frequently used to avoid paying taxes. However, with global tax authorities exerting pressure on major financial centers to be more open, the offshore landscape may change in the future.